welcome to Oakville Matters. Our city calls itself a town and works very hard to feel like a village. We're warm, friendly, caring people, and we like to stay in touch with each other. We work together to grow harmony, safety, and prosperity for all. And here's the question we're answering on today's show. What can we expect when the Centennial Cup tournament comes to town next May? And joining us to answer this question are four folks who had a lot to do with getting the tournament to come to Oakville for the first time ever. Scott McCrory is the Oakville Blades GM and head coach, and quite a scoring machine in his day. I'll leave him to tell you about those claims to fame. And Todd Carey is the manager of our 16-mile sports complex, and that's our hockey and skating showplace. And Ray Chisholm is a member of one of the very first Blades teams, and now a member of Oakville Council. And Sean O'Meara, who's a member of both Oakville and Halton councils and the chair of Visit Oakville. Thanks for your service to our town, and thanks for joining us today. I want to start with you, Scott. As the general manager and head coach of the Blades, how significant is it for the team to land this tournament? And as it's kind of like a backdoor entry to the tournament, right? Scott.
Yeah, Mr. Mayor, there's 119 teams in the Canadian Junior Hockey League, so we're privileged enough to be one for 2024 to host it. So the other 9 leagues have to battle through playoffs. In our league, it's 4 games or 4 series of 7 games potentially. So you have an extra 28 games. Your body, the young men are going to get battled through, and chance of getting injuries. We get a direct bye into the national championship pool of 10 teams. So it's huge for our players, and it's huge for our organization.
Now, I hear every scout in the world comes, and so it's a really big deal to play and be seen by these scouts. Is that right?
Well, it's because of our location, all 32 NHL teams will have either their head scout. I've been at a few of them. Their GMs are there. All 53 now Division Ones, because of our proximity to all the major schools. There'll be a representative from all those schools, the D3 schools, plus all those CIS U Sport schools will be at the competition as well. So our North End lobby will probably be a haven for parents looking to see if they can rub elbows with some high-profile hockey people.
So I was going to go to Todd and deal with the delicate question of who won the what was the big factor that made Oakville get the designation as the host? But you just said something that I think we should shift to Sean. So Sean, as the chair of Visit Oakville, you must be rubbing your hands and licking your lips.
Well, anything we can do to encourage and highlight and showcase, the great things that Oakville has to offer, absolutely. And that's a tidbit that actually I didn't know, Scott, that, we're anytime Oakville residents get to rub elbows with GMs or something, I'm sure the lineups will be large to see who's there. That's an exciting little tidbit to add to our canvas of what's going to happen here next year. But yeah, it's an exciting opportunity to showcase, not just our incredible sports facilities here in Oakville, but our waterfront, our parks, our cultures, our restaurants, our shops. About 40,000 visitors are going to be here over the time of the tournament. Over 3,000 hotel night stays, and from what we understand, close to $5 million boon to the economy. And it's our role to make sure that people who come for the Centennial Cup want to come back again and see everything that Oakville has to offer. So yes, Mr. Mayor, we are excited about that, and we're excited to highlight and showcase everything Oakville has to offer.
So we're wishing and hoping and praying that these visitors will drop a few dollars here, I gather.
That's what history says will happen. So it's our job to make them want to open their wallets a little bit here.
Well, now, Ray, you played some pretty serious hockey, starting with the Blades. How does it feel as a Blades alum to have this tournament coming? I don't think the Blades ever went to the Centennial Cup. For that matter, I think the Blades are older than the Centennial Cup.
Well, it's fantastic for Oakville. When I played, we were kind of a ragtag operation of coming out of a midget time level of hockey, and then we developed it over the years. to where they are today, and the different ownerships and so forth. But it's the evolution of hockey in Oakville, and it's been so positive for Oakville and for the Oakville Blades. And the building of 16 Mile has been just a godsend for hockey. In the unfortunate days, we had one rink and we only had so many little dressing rooms to deal with, and have a home base for a dressing room was almost non-existent when we played. But now the professionalism and the excitement of hockey coming to Oakville for the Centennial Cup is wonderful. It's like icing on the cake for all the years that we struggled as a junior hockey club in Oakville, but it's reaping rewards now, and I have great accolades and thanks to Scott and his operations to bring it to Oakville. And I'm full support of that. As you know, at council, we made the motion to assist in every which way possible for the Centennial Cup, and very excited to see it coming. And hopefully I'm talking to all my ex-Blade friends out there who have played with, old timers, new timers, come out and support the Blades. There's still a lot of us still around in the GTA, and hopefully they'll take in the games.
So what did you think of the Centennial Cup last Sunday? I'm sure you watched it.
Yes, I watched it, and the game has changed since we played. The different styles of hockey, and the elimination of the center line has created a different game altogether when we played. But it was exciting hockey. The movement of the puck. These teams are top-notch hockey clubs throughout Canada, and hoping a lot of them, when you talk to when you're listening to the broadcast, a lot of them are going to American and Canadian universities and on to professional careers, hopefully, and then maybe the AHL, the ECHL. But there's all opportunities, and this is good for hockey, for kids to move forward and up the ladder.
So what do you make of the Bandits? You think they'll repeat next year?
Wow, 3 times winners. So, and like you said, Rob, is that they must be growing them big out there in the prairies for these kids to play that kind of hockey. It must be a real immersed hockey town, and Oakville is too. It's got a lot of history, and hopefully Oakville representing on the ice will make a good show for us.
So Todd, as I understood it, Scott and his team led the bid, and we played a supporting role, and apparently we didn't screw it up. So talk about our part in helping win this, and then we're going to go back to Scott and we'll find out what really happened.
Yeah, no, for sure. Thank you, Mayor Burton. And the person that I think deserves the lion's share of the credit is Scott. You're not kidding. I watched Scott pull together a host committee. I think last I counted, there's close to 20 people now sitting on that host committee, and maybe it's gone higher. Scott and his team put in an 88-page bid to Hockey Canada, and I can tell you I was fortunate enough to be out at the Centennial Cup in Manitoba last week, and I had numerous members of the selection committee suggest to me that the Oakville bid that went in under Scott's leadership was certainly one of the finest they'd ever seen, if not the finest. I think the support of mayor and council behind this bid was very meaningful. Mayor Burton, I remember well, you were at 16 Mile filming a video of support that I know went a long way. There was comments made about they felt like almost everybody in Oakville had put in a letter of support, which I think shows the community support behind this. And there's no doubt the facility itself at 16 Mile played a big part in helping support the bid.
Well, the facility, that's good news, because after all, one of the things we built it for, right? So yeah. Scott, how did you get it? How did you bag this?
How do we, well, Todd put the icing on the cake by saying that 88-page bid that we put in was, as I was told, was second to none. They'd never seen something like that. Luckily for me, I had a great program support person, and Tracy Vince is an Oakville resident and a good friend of mine who runs a marketing company. They created the bid. We put the proposal in. We went up against 7 other teams in the CJHL. It came down to 3 of us, and then it was down to 2. And as Todd can tell you, we were told we were going to get told on it at the end of March. Then it was April 10th, then April 20th, and I'm like, you guys got to hurry up, because somebody's got to fly to Winnipeg to go to Portage to look at this. And I got a call from Dean McIntosh on the Wednesday before the Friday press conference saying, congratulations, you've done it. We've awarded you the Oakville Blades, the 2024 Centennial Cup. So there's a lot of work. We have, like Todd says, we have 18 committee members, which will now probably quadruple because after Todd will tell you out there, some of the people were getting tired. And I just said to our group, we need 2 co-chairs underneath the chair in case somebody doesn't feel well. It's kind of like a corporation where you're going to have people to back up the backup. So we're looking for more volunteers to help out. It's a big event. It's actually 14 days by the time it starts, by the time the last team leaves. And I'll say this, we want to beat the Bandits. The Bandits recruit from all over the world. And so we need the support of, we got the support of town council. Now we need the support of the residents of Oakville to make sure this works properly.
Well, maybe we can get Ray to lace up.
Yeah, I think we're going to have an alumni golf tournament.
I'd be a pylon out there.
We're going to kick it off with August 17th, our alumni golf tournament. So we'll probably have an alumni game sometime prior to the tournament as well, because these people like Ray, they're the backbones of why this organization has been such a storied franchise. And I appreciate Ray and his support through City Council to make sure this works, because having an own team myself, not having the support of former players and alumni, it doesn't work. So,
That's right.
On to you, Rick.
Now, our Oakville viewers may be wondering about that Oshawa jersey behind you. Do you want to just give us a little hint of what that's about?
Well, that's my, I played for the Oshawa Generals from 84 to 87. So I didn't get my number retired in the rafters like all the NHL pros, but the equipment manager, and he's still the equipment manager, Brian Boyce. That's my Memorial Cup jersey, and I'm the only player other than the big boys to have a chance to take their jersey as a leading scorer and an OHL Player of the Year MVP. Brian gave it to me.
Fantastic.
All right. So that's a badge of honor.
It
We're
is.
lucky.
Yeah, a little bit.
I take the view we're lucky to have that jersey and you here.
Yeah.
Now, what else?
It's like we tell the kids here in Oakville, once a Blade, always a Blade. We have a fraternity here in Oshawa, and I'm actually president of the Alumni Association, where if unfortunately somebody passes away, I'm gonna send flowers on behalf of all the veterans that played here.
Right. Well, as we all know, hockey is a sentimental game as well as a fast, rough one too. So, what are you looking for from Todd and from Sean? I'm hoping that you want money from Sean and not from Todd.
Todd's pretty easy to work with. Him and I think on the same wavelength, and he understands that you guys have an exceptional facility and that we can take great use of, and we're going to meet tomorrow and go through a walkthrough on some ways of making the facility even better at 16 Mile. For Sean, yeah, I'm not going to lie. We're looking for as much financial support. I can't come out and tell you what it costs, but it's way over $1 million to run this event. So people don't expect the 2 owners of this team to fit the bill for it, because we need to make sure it works, because it's just not about the Oakville Blades. It's about the town of Oakville and how great a community that the town is, and let's show our support.
Do you know what the tickets will be priced at?
Regular games are $25, which dollars per game. The quarterfinals are $35 and the championship's $40. We're a little bit different. Collingwood and Trenton this year, finals rounds were $35 a ticket. So
This sounds like pretty good value for hockey. Like, are you underpricing?
No, we try to make it worthwhile. And to be honest with you, Mayor, the final game, you probably walk away from all the sponsorships from Hockey Canada with about $60 in merchandise. Because Esso gives cards, all the major sponsors give $5 off cards. It's quite the event. As Todd will tell you, when you walk in, people are handing you things all the time. The first day we were there, we got handed, here's a gift certificate for a local steakhouse. If you want to go eat, it's a $10 off. So that's coming back to the Sean's and Rebecca's playbook. We're going to support all the restaurants, all the attractions in Oakville, and make sure it works properly. So there's going to be lots of revenue. Hockey Canada says it's about 5 million. I think it's closer to about 10 or 15 million dollars that will come back into the community. So with the festival in the back parking lot, this is going to be just not a hockey event. It's going to be a huge community event.
Well, I like your numbers better than Hockey Canada's numbers.
Yeah, it's I have an experience with running some hockey tournaments before, so when I saw that number, I kind of chuckled to myself because they like to keep it low.
Okay, so Todd and Scott, what is this going to look like and feel like for the hockey fans? You know, it's end of season. It's past the end of the season for our locals, so we're taking over. It sounds like. Are the other 3 rinks going to be used for anything, or is it all going to be in the main arena?
Do you want me to take that one, Scott?
Yeah, that's all yours. That's your forte.
Mayor Burton, you hit on, I think, one of the, this is a national championship, and you talk about the impact to Oakville, and you hit on the end of the year. The timing of this couldn't be better, both for our facilities, for our community, because there's, in the minor hockey world right now, there's not too many lulls in the schedule, but with the tournament in mid-May, it actually is a quiet time for minor hockey, which means it's a great opportunity for the local Oakville minor hockey community, minor sports community, and residents of all nature to come out to 16 Mile because they're not as busy themselves. And one thing that's really impressed me about Scott's team is this is a tournament, and it's a significant tournament. It's the National Junior A Championship, but I have yet to hear anybody from the host committee refer to it as a tournament. They refer to it as an event. And I think that speaks to the mindset. You know, you're going to come to 16 Mile and you're going to see world-class hockey. And as Scott mentioned, NHL scouts, but you're also going to see a festival. There's a pretty impressive lineup of festival tent holders and attendees that I know Scott and his team have already arranged. There's discussions about music acts coming in. Our partners from Puck's Pub for food and beverage have been intimately involved in making this a great experience. In fact, they went out to Manitoba to see this year's event as well. Rebecca Edgar and the whole Visit Oakville team has been engaged to look at ways to bring in local businesses and the entire community. So I think the word festival is what keeps popping into mind. I think you're going to come for an event, you're going to come for a festival, and you're going to happen to see some world-class hockey while you're here.
So let's see, to be sporting and sportsmanlike, we would never say anything negative about Portage La Prairie and how they did it, but maybe we could say, what was it like and what will we do different or more or different? How are you going to tell them apart? Will you be able to tell them apart?
Portage is a smaller community. What's Oakville right now? Close to 300,000?
Oh, please, no. We think we're 225,000.
Oh,
and
okay.
And Portage is, 13,000.
Exactly. So, and honestly, the arena is built exactly the same as the bowl at number 1 at 16 Mile, but with our 4 rinks, all the teams can practice and be done by 2:00. So if they're not playing, we've set up off ice activities to go down to the Jays game, Ripley's, go down as Sean said to the lakeshore, salmon fishing tours. We're going to have that all set up through our local people. Oakville, we're blessed with an arena where the pageantry of when you park your car. We're looking at getting valet parking for people so they can park their car, but you're going to see Oakville Blades, town of Oakville, splashed all over the place, hockey, everything. The festival, they only had 2 rinks in Portage, and unfortunately the second rink was in 2015 was their beer garden and their activity center, so they lost it. So they had it off the side of their community center and it lost its luster. So as Todd talked about, our plans are to bring in some local bands. We're going to have the Jays come in. We're going to have the Leafs, the Raptors, the Toronto Rock, all the professional teams. Canadian Tire is going to bring a rapid shot through their pro hockey lifestyle situation. So it's all going to be interactive events in this festival. So even if you can't or don't want to go in the game, you can bring your family over, and your young daughter or son can get in and enjoy an activity of, oh, I learned how to shoot a puck, or I learned this, or I learned how to. I walked in the dressing room of the Leafs, Raptors. It's second to none. And Hockey Canada has kind of said to me, "You've got to set the bar for the rest of it." And as I've told Todd, I would like every 3 or 4 years that Oakville gets to host this, because if we do it right now, this coming year, it's we set the bar, and I don't think anybody can beat it based on what we can do.
Well, the tournament's been running since 1971, and this is the first time it's come to Oakville. I got the idea that it was a big deal to not go to a small town, but to come to, the Big Smoke. But maybe it's been to bigger places that I just don't know about.
The big hasn't really been. It's Truro, Nova Scotia, Chilliwack. I was with when I was a GM in Wellington. Chilliwack was about 120,000. That's about the biggest city it's been in.
Okay,
and they did a real good job. So I have a basis of Chilliwack, and that was part of the basis for our bid with our committee.
So Sean, this is a bigger deal than we thought. Like,
Well,
bigger honor. It's they've allowed us to. I feel like we've been given a privilege. We're allowed to have it.
Well, I think, the one thing Oakville's always been great at is punching above its weight. And I think the connections and the partnerships that not just organizations and businesses in Oakville have, but just everyday residents have, I think could really push this thing over the edge. And I think anybody who's coming to visit Oakville is going to realize pretty quick that it's a quite special place. And I think, I look forward to working with Scott and Todd and everyone else at the town to see what kind of special things we can put in place for the people who come here in Oakville, and what sort of partnerships we can lean on to make it certainly a once in a lifetime experience for everybody who comes for the tournament.
Oh, maybe even have good memories for the people of Oakville.
Well, I think that goes without saying for sure. Absolutely.
And Ray, what kind of bow can you put on this from your vast experience in hockey? We look on council, we look to you.
Well, there's a lot of opportunities. Like I said earlier, there are a lot of old blades and ex-blades around, and I'll make sure I get the word out. We do have a connection. We have our own golf tournament, and we still have a lot of networking on. So I think the support would be excited with a lot of the past members of the Blades. What hockey does for Oakville, and I'm going back in the 70s, we used to pack Oakville Arena with maybe 1,200, 1,300 people when we were in the playoffs. But it brought the community together. It was, and to this day, I see people walking this, when I walk the streets once in a while. Oh, Ray, remember when they remember how the game went, or we won, or we lost. So that's what it is. It's all about memories. It's all about experiences, and the hockey is the focal point. But as Scott indicated, all the other activities around, it becomes a family day, and working through all the activities at 16. Sean's bang right on with respect to the economic boost for Oakville, but my role would be is just to promote it as much as I can with my networking of hockey and the old timers that are still playing hockey. But yeah, that's what I would do on behalf of the Blades and the town.
There's a special angle to this whole thing, which is there was a Blade by the name of Bill Pera who went on to be mayor of the town of Oakville, and he had the far-sighted vision to line up the land of North Park, which made it possible for us when we came along to build the arena and make this happen. Because without that arena, I'm pretty sure we might not have. With the old Oakville Arena, I don't think we would have won the bid. Can we all agree on that? I think
You can agree on that one for sure.
So the Blades have had a pretty big impact on this town, all the way up to being mayor. And building, think about it, really, it's a heritage project from one of the first Blades, because I think Bill was on the very first Blades team.
That's correct. He was on the first Blades team, yeah.
Oh, and he says he was the highest scorer, which is always, I've never asked you this before, but when you came on a year or two later, did you beat his score?
Statistics weren't that strong. We didn't have too many comparatives, Roth, with respect to year from year. There's been some dynamic changes in the Blades, and at one time it was a very centered players were all from Oakville. then waivers came in and so forth and expanded. And you see what's happening now. Like when you look at some of the teams, they're getting them from all over the world. We never had that chance. It was a local team, and things started to move in a different direction. So statistics were very limited from year to year. You know, not like the town of Oakville. We got lots of statistics on everything that we do.
So both of you won. That's the ultimate way to end this on a happy note like that. And thank you very much for joining us. And I hope you look forward to this Centennial Cup event as much as we do.